Hi guys, so the last weeks and months I've been experiencing a lot of progress in my muscle up journey, and I basically just wanted to share my progress with you. Maybe you can draw some benefit from that and implement it in your own training. So my actual muscle up training have been looking like this. So I will show you the method that I've been using, and after I will explain it step by step and how you can implement it in your own training. So you start with doing one muscle up and just rest until recovered. That can be 10 seconds, 20 seconds or 30 seconds or however long it takes for you. 2 muscle ups. And once again, just rest until recovered. And then the last muscle up. And as you probably figured out by now, I've been using pyramid sets. So this pyramid set I have been using for the last couple of months actually. And because my max reps are like 6, this is perfect for me. So I'm far from failure, which means I can do this for this cluster of sets for 3 sets. So I've been doing all of this that I just showed you for 3 sets. And that comes to like a total of 24 muscle ups. And because I don't go to failure, I can do this 2 times per week. So the way you use these sets with resistance bands is always use a resistance band that you can do 1 or 2 reps more with. So for instance, the first set, use a resistance band that you can do 2 to 3 muscle ups with. And then the next set where you're doing 2 muscle ups, use a resistance band where you can do like 3 reps. And the third set, use a resistance band or a resistance band combination that allows you to do 4 to 5 muscle ups. And then you go down again. And one thing that I've always been doing is writing down my results. So I would recommend always keep track of the resistance bands you're using and try to improve if you can each week. I know that's a stretch, but each month. So now I will do the same sets but with ankle weights, and I try to increase the weights every 3rd week if I can, but I will use the same reps and sets and adjust my weight accordingly, and I try to do the whole thing for 3 sets as well. So this style of training muscle ups has worked really well for me, and I can highly recommend it for you as well. Okay, so I will be doing the exact same workout but with ankle weights, and I'm using a total of 2 kilo extra. I could probably use more, but as I learned from the past mistakes, it's much better to go slow than to injure yourself with like ego training. So, the same pyramid again, 1 rep to start. So that felt really easy. I'll rest for a few seconds and then I'll do 2 reps. So even when I'm using weights, I try to use the same form and technique as I would do without weights, because there's no point of adding weights and then using kip to get over the bar. That would just be ego training, you know. I try to do 2 reps as clean as I can. Okay, that felt good as well. But when you're doing just, when you're adding just a little bit weight, it feels different. You feel it in your joints more. And because of that, it's so important to take it step by step, especially when you're adding weight or when you're progressing from a thicker band to a thinner band. It's also important to just take your time. Okay guys, the hardest part of the set, 3 muscle ups with extra 2 kilos. And it's just 2 kilos, but you can really feel it. Okay, so 2 muscle ups. Before I always, I was very set on resting for exact number of minutes, maybe like 2 minutes or exact 3 minutes. Now I go more by feel, I rest until recovered basically. So that's what I always recommend, just rest until recovered. And I learned how that felt, with experience basically. So 2 muscle ups with 2 extra kilos. So with the 2 kilo extra on my ankles, so I think I'm muscling up about 95 kilos, which to me I never thought, that would ever happen. Before I weighed like 80 kilos or something. So here's the last weighted rep. And after this, I show you another thing that I've implemented over the weeks and months to increase my muscle up strength. But first, the last rep. So I think I will be using this weight for a couple of weeks. It feels good, even though I could probably max out more. As I said in the beginning, this is not about maxing out. It's just feeling it out where your sweet spot is, and do that kind of workout 2 days per week would be my suggestion. So here's another type of training I've been implementing as well. I'll show you here. So in my opinion, it's very important to train the muscle up transition specifically, especially the negative part, which is best done by doing negative muscle ups. So if you have a low bar like this, you just jump up without resistance band and then fight the transition, the negative part, as much as you can, all the way down. But if that's too hard, I would recommend using a resistance band. You jump into a resistance band and then you'll do 1 muscle up. So you'll also get explosive training from this. So you'll do 1 muscle up, and then from here you either step out of the resistance band or just do a negative muscle up with the resistance band. And then you rest until recovered, and then you do 1 more rep. So this is a really good way of training both the explosive part, doing the actual muscle up, and also training the negative part of the muscle up to strengthen your transition a lot. So I would recommend doing this pyramid type of muscle up training and progress week by week, month by month, tracking your progress. After the pyramid workout, I would recommend training the negative muscle up, fighting the transition as much as you can, and strengthening this part right here. And then a day or 2 later, I would implement weighted pull-ups, doing weighted pull-ups the muscle up style, which means elbows facing forward, and try to be as explosive as possible compared to doing weighted pull-ups for back development, where you pull your elbows to the side and back and pulling in a slow pace. So you don't want to do that. You want to be as explosive as possible. That will help your explosiveness for the muscle up tremendously. And I would recommend training 2 times per week, and don't go to failure. Sometimes I would recommend going to failure. I use failure training in my own workouts sometimes, but for the workouts I showed you in this video, I would recommend not going to failure. So if you're interested in watching my journey from 0 muscle ups to weighted muscle ups, I would recommend watching this video right here.